Welcome back to Drinking with Craig and Roger. I'm Roger.
And I'm Craig. And we have another TV show or celebrity tie-in beverage here, so tell us all about it.
This is Bushmills Prohibition Recipe. It's a limited edition, 92 proof version of Bushmills, which is non-chill filtered.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, like all Irish whiskeys, it's going to have a percentage of unmalted barley in it, and it will be blended. It's a blend, so it will have some grain whiskey with the malt whiskey. Now, it's related to the television show Peaky Blinders.
Good show.
And if you look at the label, it says Shelby Company on it.
Nice.
Well, the Peaky Blinders show is a fictional show about a band of basically criminals that operated after the First World War. But it's loosely based on a band of criminals that operated before the First World War.
Okay.
They were called Peaky Blinders, and there's not a lot of good evidence as to why. Some people think it's because they put razor blades in their hats.
Yes.
And they could pull them out and blind people. But, you know, with the original group before World War II, you know, safety razor blades were very, very expensive, so it's unlikely that a band of hooligans would have this. It's more likely that it was based on dressing well. The little cap they have is called a peak. And blinders means they're flashy dressers, so they'll blind you. That's it. Okay.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's how this is here, and this was timed for the release of the last season of Peaky Blinders.
Okay, yeah. And I've had a couple people ask me about this. I know people know it's out there and are curious how it is, so.
Well, you can tell I already know how it is.
Yeah, you know how it is. I don't know how it is yet, so I'm excited to try.
Everybody who has had it, because I had a little party where we had some of this, has liked it.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. Give it a whiff here. Oh, that smells nice. Nice sweet smell. Got some power to it. Maybe some orange peel in there.
Yeah. Oh, and it's got that unmalted
Fruit.
barley little taste to it. But it's a very, very smooth whiskey.
Oh man, that is nice.
And you'll notice over here on the back of the label, it says that it's aged at least 3 years.
Okay.
Which probably means that the grain whiskey that went into it was aged 3 years, because that matures pretty quickly. The malt whiskey is probably considerably older.
Yeah, this is nice. I see what you're saying. This has a pretty powerful kick up front, just in terms of flavor. It's a lot of flavor, a lot of nice flavor up front, and it does have that little kind of grain alcohol heat strain towards the back end of the palate, I think. But I like this.
Oh, this is fine beverage, and it's not all that expensive either.
You remember how much?
I think it's around $35, something.
Okay, not bad. I think it's just a little tough to find, from what I hear. Or has been. Really nice notes of vanilla to me, almost like marshmallow, you know, vanilla frosting kind of flavors and stuff there. This is good. I'm a fan. The non-chill filtering is interesting because you're probably going to get some more nuances that you wouldn't have. I assume the regular Bushmills is chill filtered.
Yeah, it doesn't say that on the regular Bushmills. Oh, I failed to say that Bushmills is the oldest licensed distillery in the world. 1608, the predecessors got the license. It wasn't the people who are doing it now, but it was the people who came before them. This is supposedly going back to the way Irish whiskey was made, you know, in the 20s, in the 30s around. And you know, we might want to compare this version of it to the current version.
The regular Bushmills.
And we should bring another glass so we can do this side by side.
Yoink.
Okay. Now, the regular Bushmills, we assume, is chill filtered, and it is only 80 proof these days. You know?
6% less alcohol is going to make a significant difference. And there's no age statement of any sort on it.
Nope.
Completely different nose. I expected them to smell more similar.
I can actually smell the Prohibition version being a little heavier to the nose.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's heavier,
But
and that creamy type of vanilla note is strong there. On the standard Bushmills, much thinner, lighter nose with more of that spicy element. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is sweet. This is very sweet.
It's sweet and mild. Thin, sweet, and mild comparatively. Has a lot less going on head to head. Oh gosh, yeah. To me, it's no comparison at all. The Peaky Blinders Bushmills is way better, and this is good stuff.
Well, they say that this Prohibition recipe was aged, at least some of it was aged in bourbon barrels, but I'm going to guess that some of this was aged in bourbon barrels. And what I'm going to guess is they used the same recipe, the same whiskey. They just treated it a little bit different and thinned it down a little bit differently.
Yeah, and I mean, bourbon barrels are pretty much the cheapest barrels they can get. So
Oh yeah, they're second use barrels.
doesn't hurt that bourbon is so popular. So people are like, oh, bourbon barrels, but I mean, it's one of the cheapest barrels they can get.
I taste a great similarity there between them.
Well, yes,
But this one has more notes to it. But I mean, it's
so
this-
much.
Yeah,
There's just so much more going on in this one, and the proof alone is going to create that.
Oh, yeah.
But
well,
side by side, there's no
I'm
contest.
pretty sure there's a different percentage of kinds of barrels that are used in the Prohibition style ones. Okay.
I mean, but you know, the regular Bushmills is nice.
Oh, it's a fine whiskey.
I think
And
I
it's
probably prefer it over Jameson, definitely.
What are you
But
talking about Jameson for?
we
Well-
gotta get.
Well, wait a minute here. Okay, let's just go back here. You know, Bushmills is in Northern Ireland. That's the little small spot
Yes.
of Ireland that is predominantly Protestant.
The orange.
Yeah, and there are a lot of folks, you know, in Ireland and elsewhere who will buy our Irish whiskey based on whether it's made by Protestant folks or Catholic folks.
Yeah.
But we are ecumenical, and so let's talk about that Jameson. Now,
All right.
you realize, you know, the rest of Ireland is a lot bigger
Yes.
than Northern Ireland, so we need a big bottle of Jamesons to bring it up to snuff.
And from what I understand, Jameson is kind of a youngster compared to Bushmills.
Yeah, it was founded only in 1780. That makes it 240 years old, you know, what can you say? But it was originally in Dublin, and now it's made in the New Middleton distillery in Cork County in Ireland. And it's a very well-known and very good, you know, Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
So let us have some of this stuff.
Okay.
This, of course,
Fire
is
it up.
distilled 3 times, as all these are.
Yep.
And it has some unmalted barley in it. And, you know, it is probably chill filtered and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's
Color
also,
added.
It's also 80 proof.
Yeah, I'm sure it's color added, chill filtered, the minimum strength legally allowed.
Well, it allows them to sell it at a lower price and still make the same kind of profit, which is why they do it. Okay, Jameson.
Jameson, cheers.
Well, it doesn't smell that much different than Bushmills.
No, it doesn't. They smell very similar.
Yeah.
I'd be hard pressed to tell them apart by the nose.
Yeah, the
Bushmills has more going on. A little more spice in the Bushmills.
Yeah.
A little more oomph, I think.
Yeah.
The Jameson is smoother and a little simpler.
Yeah, and colder to my taste, which means it doesn't have as much of the malt character or the alcohol character. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean it has less of it. It just means that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. A little bit different note. Maybe a little, almost like I still get almost like a faint like whipped cream type of flavor in here. Maybe this is an odd note. I don't know why it came to mind. Little rose petals. It's a little floral.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. But you really don't want to have rose petals in there. They're very, very bitter.
Ah, okay. Well, that was an imagined note. The alcohol is in there. It always is. If someone hands me a shot of Jameson, I taste the alcohol.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying the Bushmills, and this is very small, very, very small. But side by side, I can taste the Bushmills as having a more oily body than the Jameson.
Yeah.
And that's even more so with the Prohibition recipe.
Oh yeah, I haven't gone straight to that, but I for my taste, I definitely prefer the Bushmills. There's more going on. There's just more going on.
However, I'm going to say, in all honesty, all three of them are terrific drinks, and they're not really expensive.
Nope.
And so they're well worth the money. They're great for sipping, neat. And I don't think you could go too wrong with putting them in a mixed drink.
Nope.
But they're fine for by themselves.
And this Jameson certainly is light enough to, if you're gonna do a shot of.
That's
The
absolutely.
Bushmills gonna sting a little bit more than the Jameson.
Well,
and the Prohibition will definitely pack more of a punch.
I don't know. I think it's only on movies and television that you see people throwing back a whole shot and then.
You are old.
Oh. Well, if you're going to do that, then you need to have salt all over your arm so you can lick on
That's
that.
tequila.
Well,
You've just been out of the scene, man. What can I tell you? At dive bars and sports bars the world over, there are shots flying back.
Well, I'm sorry. When I was young, the thing was to chug a beer. So you drank the beer in one fell swoop.
Yeah, you don't see too much more of that. Maybe some college keg stands, I'd say.
Well, what the thing is, this is much more intense alcoholically than a beer. So you can probably chug 4 or 5 beers pretty well and not get too sick. You chug 4 or 5 of these little suckers and you are going to be in trouble.
You're toast. Give me your best. I just took a shot face, and I'm going to put in some music over your face for no reason.
Paper in his red right hand.
Okay, we'll see how that edits together. Yeah, there we go.
At any rate, I recommend all 3 of these very highly. They're very nice.
Craig's Choice, if you can find it, this Prohibition recipe is really damn good. And if you're willing to go another $10 more than this, you can get that Bushmills 10-year single malt, which is very nice too. So if you like what we're doing, definitely throw us a like here, subscribe, and feel free to put anything in the comments, any thoughts or anything you want us to do in the future. And until the next time, Salancha. Test, 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 test.